What's going on, everybody? And in today's video, I am going to be debunking one of the worst DC debunks that I've ever seen. Like, literally, personally, I've seen Drip Sauce do better than whatever that Buns is. Reminder, if you haven't subscribed, I would recommend you do. Please, it would help a lot.
Video. First off, let's address the fact that DC's cosmology is actually very small, and insanely small at that. It lacks what many fans try to claim: infinite dimensions, so on and so forth. It also lacks a general structure when it comes to quote-unquote big cosmologies. For starters, here is a DC-themed multiverse map. It is the map that holds everything up to the sphere of gods. As we can see, it is quite small, only housing 52 universes, or as DC likes to call them, Earths. Why is this important exactly? Seen in the scans, I'm about to present the DC Omniverse, which means all the universes, the bleed, the array of worlds, the multiverse, etc., are all bound by hypertime. Hypertime is consistently stated and shown that it binds the entirety of all DC works, which includes comics, TV shows, movies, and even animated series. Hypertime is verbatim stated to be and/or work like cubed time, wherein time splits, causing it to act like geometrical dimensions. In this case, said geometrical dimensions would be four sides, aka what is the fifth dimension exactly? To put it simply, it is the higher plane of existence that views the entire DC multiverse and such omniverse as a mere game board, consistently shown by Mr. Mixie. The fifth dimension, however, is bound by imagination, as it's verbatim stated by Mr. Mixie. It is formed by imagination, and it is the blood of the multiverse. This plane of existence would only be around 5D, as it is qualitatively superior to the previously aforementioned cosmological structures. The sixth dimension. The sixth dimension is the highest plane of existence within Crisis, or, as we all know, DC cosmology. Not exactly, but from which all reality, including hypertime, was constructed. It acts as the control room where creation is set into place, and it is the plane in which the beings that created hypertime are from. This should scale the sixth dimension to around 60, as it is clearly superior to that of hypertime. Etc., as they quite literally birthed the hypertime as well as the omniverse. The source wall. I'm going to briefly touch upon the source wall, as there isn't really much relevance to it. Simply put, the source wall acts as both the limit, the first thought, and the protective shell around creation that protects it from being swallowed up by the all-consuming void. Basically, it's a wall that protects and/or blocks creation from the all-consuming overvoid, making it 7D as it is superior to that of the sixth dimension. The monitor sphere. Now, here's where things get slightly interesting. The monitor sphere acts as the bridge/boundary between all the previous cosmological structures and the overvoid, which is how Cass, or as many people know him, Cosmic Armor Superman, pushed Mandrake into the overvoid. It's also the primal archetypal world, which exists beyond the boundary of Earth, and is the point at which space, time, and scale are all more profound. Basically, it transcends the previous cosmological structures and serves as the boundary that separates the overvoid and the physical materialization of creation, making Now then, the overvoid, the source/the great darkness. What is it exactly? Well, it is the infinite, eternal, non-dual, immutable, perfect, and indescribable divine consciousness that underlies all things and acts as a blank canvas for all conditioned phenomena that it dreams of. In layman terms, it is the blank canvas that sets reality into stone. Many fans try to scale the overvoid/the source/the great darkness to high outer, or even tier 0, which is blatantly false again. The overvoid has consistently gotten its kicked, and it itself isn't even truly indivisible, as someone fell into it and escaped from it. Two we can name are Mandrake and Racer, both of whom have fell into the overvoid/the source/the great darkness and survived it. The overvoid also got it. I can't say that word, sorry TikTok. The overvoid also got beat out by Darkseid to the point it was crying for help as Darkseid would have killed it, which means the overvoid/the source/the great darkness are not high order or tier 0. Rather, word. They are 9D as they merely transcend the entire cosmology and act as the underlying blank canvas for reality to become conceptualized. And lastly, the moment everyone has been waiting for. Drumroll, please. The unknowable / unsolved. What is it? I'm glad you asked. It is the ineffable fullness of Godhead's essence, where the overweight was simply the divine mind and its emanative process. Why is this going to be debunked? Again, I'm glad you asked. In the current New Gods run, it presented us with the idea that the Great Darkness and the Overwear are complementary opposites. As such, the Great Darkness was thought to be high outer or tier 0, due to working in unison with the Overweight to ground all things. However, this was recently disproven by one of the latest issues on the same run, as now we have an unrelated conceptual space between the two, which houses unborn ideas and concepts and is external to the source, while also being external to the Great Darkness. The only reason this final part of the cosmology is going to be 10D is because it is the first light that will create all DC, and would therefore have ontological superiority to DC, making it 10D as a whole. Our conclusion? DC is overrated, fraudulent fodder that doesn't even get past 10D, which is only barely scraping complex multiversal. This means that DC isn't even top 1000 of strongest versus infection. Hell, Starlight Glimmer would be able to solo DC by herself. Not saying that she's weak, of course. Anyway, that is going to be the conclusion for this video. Thank you all for tuning in on how weak DC is, and I will see you all another day. Chaos out.